Hi, and welcome to my sewing room. My name's Leah, and I'm on week 46 of my UFO challenge, where I've challenged myself to sew at least 15 minutes a day on my UFOs. I'm still working on my orange spiderweb quilt. I did miss a couple of days as I was getting the house ready for the holidays, but the days that I did get to sew, I actually got to sew for at least an hour or more. So I did get some progress done on this project. I started the week by finishing up row 3 on all the sections, and I attached them to row 2. Then I started working on row 4. I got the black fabric pieces cut out and sewn on for the first and the third orange triangles, but I still needed to add the black to the fourth triangle to finish that row for each section. Since I was building this quilt as I went, I didn't have any templates for these black shapes. The only thing I had was that original triangle unit I made first. So I used that as my template. And here's a sample of how I did that.
Alright, so these are the next two pieces I need. They're kind of mirror images. I'm going to line it up like this so I know. The difference is this has a little bit longer, so I'll just remember to go with this one. So I'm going to use this to cut out. And I want a nice straight edge. So I need about a 4-inch strip. So I'm going to cut that. So this is the piece I'm working on. So I'm going to flip it over. Here's my 4-inch strip. This is the selvage. Just trim that off. It's not going to be perfect. So if I fold it over, I have a 1/4-inch seam, so I want it like there. And then I'm going to fold this over. And I'm going to give me plenty of room. It's more than enough room. Just going to use that as eyeball. Make sure I don't cut that. Okay, now I want to get my cut angle. So I'll fold this over as well. There's the black. I'm going to actually give this one a nice, smooth 1/4-inch cut. Make sure there's nothing underneath. Okay. So there is my piece. And if I flip this over, so then I'll just use these as my templates, and I'll do the rest. And I need 6 pairs. I've already done a few. I know these are cut big, so I'm just going to draw it around. And that gave me 3 pairs, so I need to cut another strip. And I'll have enough.
Since I already knew the orange triangles were the right size, I wasn't worried about cutting the black too big, because I knew the angles on the orange triangles would help me trim those down to the perfect size. When I started the week out, I had all the pieces spread out on the design wall in a circle, but I kept getting confused about which piece went where, and I would confuse the mirror images. I kept having to go back to the design wall, putting them back up, double checking where they should be, and let me tell you, I did have to get out my steam ripper several times. So to avoid that, I decided I need to organize these pieces better. This quilt is made up with 4 big half-square triangle units that are all the same. I laid out all my pieces in piles, just like they'd be laying out if I'd sewed them into these units. I started with the first half-square triangle that I had made earlier, and I stacked all the pieces for those on top of that to make 3 more triangles just like it. I kept the piles in their places on the design wall with a pin. I had some pieces that already had their black shapes sewn to them, and they were placed in the order where they needed to go. I also laid out the mirror image triangle right above it, so when I get all the black pieces cut out, I can match them with the right pieces and chain piece those sections together. Then I'll have the last row sewn together. And that's where I ended things for week 46. I got some sewing done, and I organized my project a little bit better to help me going forward. This next week, I'm not sure how much I'll actually get done. My husband and I decided we wanted to redo the laundry room right before Thanksgiving, and it needs to be done before people come over. So I may have to sacrifice some of my sewing time in order to get that finished. I should be able to squeeze in a few 15 minutes here and there, but not much more than that. Years ago, my sewing would ramp up right about now as I tried to finish decorations and gifts. But as years gone by, I've realized I've started to slow that way down, and I spend more time hanging out with family and doing the fun holiday activities. So going forward, I think my sewing will really slow down till about January. What about you? Are you sewing up a storm? Or are you taking a break for the holidays? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing what you're working on, or what you're possibly going to work on later on in January. Thanks so much for following along, and until next time, happy sewing.